Hello everyone, Firemac here, and welcome back to my 6.1 playthrough for Final Fantasy 14 Endwalker. With me, Firemac! So yeah, I don't know how much of the patch we got left, so this might be appended to the next one, I don't know. That extra scene kind of has me going like, what? And it's probably going to be a trial series that we're going to get starting 6.2, I'm assuming. Let's talk to Stadium real fast. I hope you okay. Same thing he said last time. Forashan. The sharing the wealth. Forashan wishes to discuss the distribution of the treasure. Shall we begin? If we are to spend the treasure wisely, then we must first determine which groups would benefit most from the monetary assistance. Some of my citizens may find it intimidating to speak with such directly, so I would ask you to act in my stead. Firemac, you are to visit Akyali and Yidlimad. Speak with Matya and his people and listen to their grievances. Esteem, I bid you to do the same at Palaka Stand. I will be conducting my own inquiries at the Giant Skull grounds. Cool. Once you believe you have ascertained the needs of the populace, we can reconvene at the Mekaduta. Oh, I see that quest. Bitter Snow. But yeah, but that's a side quest I'll do on my own time, guys. Oh, that's right. I think that's the role quest stuff. In fact, I'm pretty sure that's where the role quests were. Yidlimad. Yidlimad, bro. Alright, so yeah, given the track record with how these patches go, this might be the last episode of the patch. Really depends. I mean, we did the dungeon, so we don't have to worry about that taking up time. There's no trials that we know of, and I don't think they try to hide any trial. And it'd be weird if there was a trial. If they were getting an MSQ trial, it would be in the MS in 6.3, but I sincerely doubt it, because I think we're just gonna get an extra trial in the trial series to make up for it, because the 4 fiends. The Golbus also might be a battle too. Well, we'll worry about that later. Oh, Firemac, I'm so glad to see you had returned unharmed. You finished with the boat then? Anything the village desperately needs? Well, I suppose Kazal's loss hit us the hardest. I've been trying to find buyers for my fish, but although I sell a few here and there, it's so much more difficult than it was before. Everyone's still struggling to rebuild their lives. For now, we're just banding together as best we can. And then... oh, let's just teleport the old madman. There's no point in freaking traveling that distance. The Junkmonger. Greetings and welcome, traveler. If this is your first visit to Thavner, then you must try my special Amra Lass. Its refreshing zest cannot be beat. What could such a wonder cost, you wonder? Normally I part with 3 bottles of the generous price of 19,800 gil. But you, I'm willing to go as low as even 10,000. You'd be practically stealing from me. Stealing at that price? You're the only thief around here. Still not turning into profit these days. I am not Estinian. Estinian? Who is this? You're the one who was with that spear-totting fellow. Well, you can hardly blame a man for trying. The world may no longer be on fire, but we are still sifting through the ashes, so to speak. Sister, spare me. We might as well have that ugly tower back for that scant few travelers we see these days. I myself barely have the coin to buy at local prices, I tell you. If I didn't charge the odd adventurer a small fortune for afternoon tea, I'd be scavenging for scraps in the street. To the guild staff. That's a lady. How fares the port? Well, it's in shambles, isn't it? The trade routes are open once more now that the danger has passed, certainly. But no small number of merchants have had to sell their ships to make ends meet in the short term. Add to that the sailors we lost in the final days, and it's little wonder the flow of exports is no more than a pitiful trickle. If Kalzal and his consortium were still with us, I'm sure he'd have found a way to turn our fortunes around. Now, that was a man who got things done. God's rest his soul. You have spoken key local figures and gained understanding of the populace of our ships. Varshan awaits your report in Megaduda. It would seem my stint on Vitra's back did not go unnoticed. I couldn't take 2 steps before another Thavnarian was thanking me profusely for saving their home. Ah, my divider is returned. I've made it back myself. Why do you retain the vessel now that your true form is known? You could have flown across the island in a fraction of the time. Be that as it may, the sight of a massive creature descending from the sky can be startling to say the least. And there are few places I can enter comfortably without the risk of flattening some cart or stall. Fair enough. As for my inquiries, the people of Palakistan were unanimous in their reply. They are surviving. Resources were stretched to the limit when refugees were poured in, but they persevered with some assistance from Yudliman. From what I understand, they have always been an independent community, hunters and foragers and the like, and I was assured that the jungle provides for their needs, for the most part. Palakistan has weathered the disaster better than most, it seems. I myself heard good news and bad. The core men were cautiously optimistic, having just sold a full wagon of giant skull to a foreign trader. But such visitors are few and far between. Compared to our best years, the weight of stone leaving Thavnar has been light indeed. Our nation is small and isolated, its prosperity dependent on a steady stream of exports. We must identify any obstacles to the flow of trade so we may begin working to remove them. Tell me, what did you learn in Akyali and Yidlimad? I see. Without a dedicated buyer, the average fisherman must struggle to offload his daily catch. Which is why I believe we should at first address the lack of ships and shortage of able-bodied sailors in Yidlimad. I myself, I am reminded of a child I spied as I made my way back to the palace. His father lost at sea when the beast sunk their vessel. So many variations of the same tragic tale, repeated over and over, so many lives lost. Enough green to drown in if we let ourselves be overcome, but we will not. Firemac, it's Stinian. I will consider the prospectus you brought to me, and devise a plan to help my people confront his adversity. Come, I would like you to be in attendance when I announce the proposal to my assembled functionaries. Who's this gonna be voiced? Be cool if it was voiced.
I thank you for your attendance. The riches Zadal's name, a fortune I set aside for a future day of need. And lo, that day hath come. Made aid our wounded city in reclaiming its vibrancy and vigor. In better times, I would leave such a task to our capable Ahawan. God's rest his soul. Finding myself bereft of his counsel in the here and now, I will assume the responsibilities of mine office directly. Firstly, the treasure shall be sold for more convenient currency. Thence, invested into the trading port of Yedlamad. Our merchants must have their operations restored, their ships rebuilt. Commerce must flow once more. None were spared the tragedy of the final days. Of this, I am well aware. But an absence was created by the loss of Karazal's consortium. And by filling it, we provide new means for our fishermen, our artisans, and others to bring their wares to distant markets.
And what of the children who were left without family to care for them?
That is a concern which weigheth heavily upon my mind. A simple gift of coin will soon be exhausted, leaving these young souls adrift on the fringes of our society. Nay, a proper solution is needed, one which doth guarantee their welfare for years to come. Thou hast surely seen how other nations rise to meet this challenge, adventurer. What dost thou deem the wisest course?
Taxes, leaving them on trade profits in exchange for your investments. It takes a village. Idleshire's orphanage was funded through trade in highly coveted goods. The Firemac orphanage was built as part of a communal restoration effort. Right, it's definitely not taxes. It takes a village. ... I don't like that one. I'm gonna go with Idleshire.
Of course, we can draw on trading profits to build a new institution. Let us put this idea into practice. A contract shall be written, requiring all who receive of Zadal's treasure to commit a portion of their future earnings towards the running of an orphanage. Now, such an influential policy is deserving of a worthy name.
We get to name it now. Something with Kazalo seems appropriate. Why not under one of your most successful merchants? I think both of them would equal the same thing, so I'm just gonna pick the one that has the name already in it.
A fitting candidate. Kazal should be remembered, not as the blasphemy which terrorized Thavne, but as a hard-working and generous man who brought much wealth to our shores. Do any among you object to this proposition? Many here lost loved ones to the beasts.
In that time of strife, any one of us could have broken. Any one of us may have been taken by despair. When I think of Kalzal, I feel no hatred. Only a stinging regret that we could not save him as well. Isn't that right, men?
This bodes well for that boy. Mirad, was it? Perhaps he can cut ties with that shady peddler.
Then let it be done. Henceforth, this initiative shall be known as the Kalzal Foundation. Nabdeen, thou art to assemble a patrol and ensure that no child in this city liveth in squalor. Clerks, see to the management of our funds and make haste. Our citizens must not suffer a day more than is necessary.
That person right there looks a little bit like me. Did they hear him say hairstyle?
Dragon and man, side by side in pursuit of a brighter morrow. Reminded of Ishgard.
Cool. You get more Popotos? Yes. With the pancakes. There's still more questing to do, as expected. Vitra is warming to his side as to his role as satrap. Surely all those years behind the curtain were not spent napping. Veteran Radiant. Bridging the Rift. The Veteran Radiant wishes to share his gratitude. I wonder if this is going to be the last one. Really don't know. Thank you for putting forth Kalzal's name. Those whose lives he enriched will take comfort in seeing his legacy honored. You will forgive me for not speaking sooner, but I bear a message from Archon Yostola. She asks that you meet her at the High Crucible at your earliest convenience. Understood, thank you. Yostola must have finished her study of the Void Gate. Shall we hear what she has to say then? I will go with you. I thought the satrap would be too busy setting up the foundation. My clerks have been well-oiled cogs of this administration since before the Ahawan assumed the office. They understand what needs to be done. And I am curious to learn what conclusions your Archon has reached concerning the gate's unique construction. As you wish, allow me to lead the way, Your Excellency. Alright, so we're going to the High Crucible, which is where exactly? Oh, over there. The closest would be the actual plaza. Yeah, so I don't think there's anything closer. Bow, wow, wow. Others of Varashan. We shall hear what your scholarly comrade has to say. For one who claims it is too late to save his sister, Vitra seems awfully interested in whatever revelations Priscilla might have to share. Because he hasn't given up hope. He really hasn't.
Right, here we all are.
Their lips
You
move at all.
discovered something new.
I took a closer look at that device. I was able to determine how it keeps the Void Gate sealed, but not how it might instead be employed to expand the opening. For that, I would need to reference the technique developed by Vitra's alchemists, no records of which appear to have survived the intervening years.
We know this, so why have you sent for us? Have you learned aught of value or not?
Patience, good sir. One must introduce the subject before launching into specifics. From what we understand, travel between worlds is accomplished by passing through the nebulous rift which exists between them. Picture, if you will, the moment you were called to the First.
I vaguely remember it.
You touched a focus of some kind to help the Exarch pinpoint your location. His summoning spell then channeled the energies of the Crystal Tower to begin your journey to his world. The magics tore a hole in the wall separating source and shard, and cast you into the intervening nothingness. In that place, the laws of nature hold no sway. Yet even through this realm of temporal and spatial instability, you were borne safely to your destination in the First. The feat that guided you across such an unimaginable distance, both physical and metaphorical, was nothing short of a miracle.
Then what of the many Voidsent found in the source? Who guides them here, and how?
An excellent question. Though there are several methods by which the Void's denizens might intrude upon our world, the rituals of summoning are the most typical. For example, let us consider the Gargoyle, a creature of middling power.
This from the trailer.
To call upon such an entity, the prospective summoner must force open a void gate. The portal lasts but a moment and is relatively small, allowing only an imp or other lesser being to squeeze through with their physical body intact. Our more powerful gargoyle, however, is too large for that. Creating a gate big enough for him would require vast amounts of energy, far beyond the reserves of any one mortal practitioner. Instead, 'tis far more common to bring over only the entity's soul. We had a taste of that ourselves when a certain Exarch dragged us to the First. And just as our bodies remained in our world, the Void Sense physical form is left behind in the 13th.
Okay.
Once at its destination, the summoned soul is granted a temporary shell to inhabit. In the gargoyle's case, a stone effigy has proven a suitable vessel.
Wait. You said that Voidsent must be called here deliberately by someone in the source, reeled in like a fisherman with his catch.
Exactly. For a being to navigate the chaos of the rift, with or without form, there must needs be a guiding agent on the other side.
When the hordes poured forth from Alag's Great Gate, it was the technologists who drew them through. Though to my knowledge, planar fissures are in essence natural passages between our world and the void, which require no such guidance to traverse. Why is only the boundary between the source and the 13th so fragile? So much so that it often tears open of its own accord.
I believe solving that mystery is key to understanding travel between the source and its reflections.
And how do you intend to get your answers?
No. The danger is too great.
Perhaps. But what some call danger, others think of as adventure.
For adventure!
Were you not listening to my tale? Never mind that the means to expand the gate has been lost to the ages. Even could you force the portal wide enough, you would be greeted by an army of murderous horrors the very instant you step through.
I assure you I was most attentive. And I agree that to go alone would be certain death. But if I were to bring along one who has already braved the 13th and humbled the cloud of darkness, well, I imagine my chances would be much improved.
Count me in.
I had a feeling you might say that. Once again, I put my life in your ever-reliable hands. That said, as much as I would like to march straight back to the Void Gate, there is the small matter of being unable to open it without the Satrap's personal authority.
Yes.
As I said before, I will grant you and yours any boon you choose to name, provided it does not endanger my people.
Oh, you're adding conditions
You
now.
have my word that we will take every precaution. Not a single void scent will be allowed to threaten Radzatan, assuming we manage to expand the portal in the first place.
You have a plan.
Actually, I had hoped you might help us with that. I presume the alchemists you retained supplied you with some explanation of their methodology.
That they did. House Daimir was overseeing the project.
Daimir. Ah, yes. The family associated with the great work.
I did not fully comprehend the theory. But their research began with a void scent which had slipped through the fissure. After a thorough examination, they created an arcane simulacrum possessed of similar qualities. A man-made void scent, if you will. It was apparently indispensable in their efforts to enlarge the gate.
A man-made void scent?
Yes. Being great admirers of the Archons, House Daemir submitted detailed notes to Charlene's official committee. They expected praise and accolades for their simulacrum, and were thus devastated to be informed that their work had been classified as prohibited material.
If that's true, then those notes might still be stored in a forbidden archive somewhere. Not Google, of course, since that library had yet to be built. Which leaves us with...
Well, I almost got really tired for a second there. With the restriction section of Numenon? Graha's favorite place to sneak around? Oh, I should have went the Graha one.
Yes, it may very well hold a copy. In which case, I say we head directly to Charlene.
Unless you anticipate needing help to reach the high shelves. I see myself being of little use. Go on ahead. I still need to find Mirad and tell him about the Kalzal Foundation.
Let us be on our way as well.
Not sure why I got so tired. Or why am I getting so tired?
They are resolved to venture into the void. Do I sit idly by?
So we're going to be heading to the 13th. That's going to be a little insane. Version. He's got nothing to say. I see what it says there. She's going to accompany me, so it's time for following. And they fixed following, by the way. I can actually get on a mount, go on Aether Shards, and all that. We're to enter Numenon's restricted archives with a minimum of fuss. Then we must secure the permission of the Forum. First, however, we must need to enlist the cooperation of a member to broach the matter on behalf. Who do you think might be inclined to assist us? The father. No one springs to mind? What scholar Montechain? How did he did come to Graha's defense during the inquiry after all. To settle, then let us head to Phenomenon and see if he's willing to help us once more. So it's not company. Keep her at your side in order to proceed to quest objectives. You can leave your solo behind, but enter a different area or by speaking with her and select an option to part ways. If you wish to have your solo company, you can return speak with her about blah blah blah. Look at all those blue quests. Cool. They're also showing the optional. They're showing the optional, the optional stuff on the map now. Look, she's actually here now. Discuss the studio. I apprenticed to Master Matoya at the age of 7 and labored under her tutelage for a full decade. I never had a chance to attend the studio. Needed the tankard, as I recall. Soon after, Master Louis took him off the streets. He was put in the care of another Archon. His was a rigorous and practical education in the arts of espionage and survival. I sometimes wonder what my life would have been like had I pursued studies with fear instead. Tea at the last stand after a day of lectures. Should I wonder as well? Oh, that does sound lovely. Afternoons with the friends spent sipping tea and debating theories. Still, I wouldn't give up my time with Master Montoya for the world. The dank cave I studied in was about as far from the bright and airy halls of the Academia as one could get, but it was a wondrous, magical childhood nonetheless. Just normal talk. If I was pressed to name our allies in the forum, Scholar Montagine would certainly be at the top of the list, so hopefully he agrees to aid us with our request. Well, I would like to think Papa Livior has come to our aid at the end. Like, he's been a good boy. He's on our side now, for the most part. Ah, visitors, quite esteemed ones at that. What may I do for you? Pray forgive this intrusion, Scholar, but we were hoping you might help us secure permission to enter Numenon's restricted archives. Oh, no furtive forays into the stacks of this time, eh? I applaud this newfound sense of propriety. Propriety, yeah. Yet in this wide world of comparative serenity, what so compels you to disturb a vault of forbidden wisdom? Fascinating. I had no idea such a technique existed. I would have been surprised if you had. If my assumption is correct, the research left behind by House Daimir has lain dormant in Charlatan's archives for many centuries. And if you unearth this research, what then? Surely you don't intend to cross over into the void. That is, in fact, precisely what we intend. To what end, pray tell? To develop a method of traversing the drift? Or one that I might keep my word to a distant friend. Sentiment aside, I have journeyed to the end of existence. I have heard, felt, and thought endlessly about the truth of our world and the echo of its future. Yet I want to understand everything, to unravel it all down to its very last secret. What scholar worthy of the name wouldn't force open a void gate or two if a grand revelation was the promised reward? Marvelous! An audacious proposal worthy of Master Matoya herself! And after hearing the whys and the wherefores, I for one do not believe you would use the knowledge for ill. I see no reason not to present your request for the forum's consideration. Yeah, I don't think this is going to happen in this patch, because we're probably going to have to wait on the forum to actually decide. Although your petition would be better received if you also had the support of another well-placed acquaintance. Why, Master Fortuno! Of course! He can hardly ignore an earnest request from his dear children's treasured comrades. Most treasured comrades. I was hesitant to approach him directly, but there is no denying that having Master Fortuno on our side would tip the balance in our favor. Very well, we will pay a visit to the Livior estate and plead our case. Oh, one last thing before you go. I would consider it a personal favor if you might share with me the discoveries you make in the void. My appetite for knowledge is every bit as insatiable as yours. I'd wager so if you could see your way to indulging an old man's curiosity. Of course, Scholark. We will be sure to pass on any revelations. You guys can't see how the cat is bugging me. Oh, you're still accompanying. Is there another talking? There's not another talking. The form can be a cantankerous beast. One needs a persuasive voice to get it moving in the desired direction. Okay. Kinda hoping this is the last quest, to be honest with you guys. Because I'm running out of time to actually record without background noise. I'm hoping it ends here. I'm going too far. Because even if we win their favor, it's still gonna take time. It should take time. Ah, Master Firemac, Mr. Yestola, how may I be of service? We've come to speak with Master Fortuno. Is he home by any chance? Yes, the Master is in his residence. I shall inform him that he has guests. Well, Emilians would invite you inside for tea, but I assume this is not a social visit. You have some matter of importance to discuss. Then pray proceed, you will have my full attention. Well, I suppose I should praise you for following the proper protocols this time around. The Sonic Montagine expressed much the same sentiment. I assure you, will not attempt to circumvent the Forum's authority again, unless it is absolutely necessary, of course. Of course. You do understand that the restricted archives are restricted for a good reason, yes? If no pressing need exists, then why risk the consequences of employing this forbidden knowledge? For a brother who misses his sister, she was his guardian and his friend, a selfless hero who crossed the rift between worlds to save her homeland from horror and suffering. But the brother has given up on thoughts of reunion. He spends his efforts elsewhere, watching over people yet healing from the flames of the final days, loyal to his duty while betraying the longing in his heart. 'Tis no vital mission, perhaps, reuniting these siblings, but it feels a worthy cause to pursue all the time. As one who feared losing his own loved ones and spent years in research to prevent it, surely you appreciate how painful such a separation must be. Playing that angle, are you, Yestola? Reflections are still very much a mystery to us. Offering to share your experiences in the first should constitute a fair exchange for our cooperation. Do not celebrate just yet. The Forum must still be convinced. I will add your request to the list of today's deliberation and deliver the decision to you at the Validation Annex. Oh my god, it's not. It's gonna actually happen today! Like, normally I wouldn't mind this, but recording no extra. I feel like it can't happen in this patch. So, what did the forum decide? To put it bluntly, Master Montoya has burned some bridges here in Charleon, and salted the earth for good measure. When it became clear that her student was the petitioner in question, well, no few members voiced their discontent. Then the chamber was reminded, in no certain terms, I might add, of the incredible debt we owe to you and your companions. That served to silence the grumbles and stiffen a few spines, and it was agreed that allowing you entry to the archives was the least we could do in return. That is wondrous news. Thank you both for speaking on our behalf. Yes, well, I am sure you are aware, this permission was not extended lightly. Forbidden knowledge is to be treated with the utmost caution, and there will be repercussions if it is not lost. If it is not. I wish you well in your endeavor, and bid you a good day. Never the same, that one. Uncompromising, aye? But that very stoicism is exactly what Charleon needed to guide it through not one, but two exoduses. There's a little something on my screen. If I were but 5 years younger, I'd cast aside my lectern and join you on your adventures in a heartbeat. That went rather well, I think. As a child, I dreamed up any number of schemes for getting my hands on those forbidden tomes. Now I can simply walk in through the door. Our focus will be finding House Damir's research notes, of course, but the thought of so much knowledge at my disposal has me feeling a little giddy. I don't think this is the last one, guys. I like to set out as soon as you're ready. I'm gonna risk it, guys. I'm gonna keep this episode going. Restricted reading is waiting to offer you further instructions. You'll be heading directly to the archives from here, I presume. You presume correctly. Then you'll want to speak with the Index when you arrive. It's been instructed to grant you access to the restricted section. Excellent. Once again, we thank you for all your help. Oh, it is my pleasure, believe me. May you find the knowledge you seek. Shall we? It's now accompany. Okay, cool. Same company spiel. So, alright. We're going all the way over there. This recording is definitely getting long. I'm a little worried that things might not be recording well, but things seem to be going well. You can definitely see my cat now. Discuss Numenon. To think the set of destructions I laughably imagine may actually exist, but yalms away from where you found me napping. Had known Alcidal III's exploits sooner, I will have saved myself a days of research. Even a children's book might have pointed me in the right direction. To achieve the impossible, one must needs to be flexible of mind and look beyond conventional wisdom. A lesson I had already learned, but clearly not taken to heart. You got a bunch of normal talk. Come along, Firemac, Numenon, and forbidden wisdom awaits. Archon Yestola and guest identified. Do you wish to proceed into the restricted archives? Follow me if you would. Watch your step. And please note that the use of naked flames is discouraged. Why is it naked? What? Music.
If House Damia's notes are to be found anywhere, it will be here. Let us begin.
It's like a remix of the Google Library music. So many books I've yet to read. Yes, here. We are here for one specific volume. You needn't remind me. Interacting with the Untitled Journal. Today, in a world not my own, I met the most beautiful void-born creature. She was so unlike her ravenous brethren, her eyes blazing not with hunger, but trembling like a candle's flame, threatening to flicker out any moment. I wonder if she even is the proper word. Such distinctions seem inconsequential, insignificant even. All that matters is the love I feel for this exquisite, transcendent being. Though you're tempted to read more, this does not seem to be the volume you're seeking. Yeah, that seems a little risque. Weighty tome. In the year 1564, the 6th astral era, the Al-Malija summoned Ifrit, their patron god. Accounts describe the being as a gigantic wizard-like being with a potent command of fire-aspected magics. If we consider that primal summoning is an act fueled by faith and prayer, it is unsurprising, if not expected, that the results deiform entity should manifest the appearance and powers with which it is attributed by its worshippers. What then might emerge from the aether should one believes in an almighty omniscience attempt the same ritual? What then might emerge from the aether should one believes in an almighty omniscience attempt the same ritual? Okay. Would the scholar himself grace us with his presence? With some embodiment of divine sagacity? Sagacity? Whatever. Could this man-made god truly be all-knowing? And if it were, whence would such knowledge arise? I myself have many questions concerning the nature of the ancient world. With no spell to transport me back to the days of old, could I instead summon a being possessed of encyclopedic wisdom of every age, yet with no means to verify its pronouncements? How could one be certain they were true? Though your mind spins of the possibilities discussed therein, this does not seem to be the volume you are seeking. Leather-bound log. The following pages detail an advanced method for manipulating rift-spanning apertures as devised by Nuhashan, the 9th Patriarch of House Daimir. We present these research notes to the faculty of Charlian Studium as both a token of our friendship and expression of our boundless admiration. You appear to have located the forbidden volume you seek. You still would need to make the final confirmation. I mean, I wonder if there was other ones I could have read there. Have something you'd like to show me, do you? My apologies, I flipped open but a single book and was completely absorbed by its contents. These bookshelves make no sense, by the way. Seems so unstable to have the biggest on the top. Whatever. Well done, Firemac. I think you may have found our prize.
Yes, the ether signature is unmistakable. I've felt the traces of House Damia's resonance many times at the Great Work. Time to see what all the fuss was about.
Hey, it's the Tomos.
Among the ranks of the Void Sent, there exist entities with the power to call forth their brethren from beyond. The species known as Atomos, however, is uniquely prodigious in this regard.
Atomos.
From its distended maw, it can expel an endless procession of void-born creatures. A talent which sorely tested the Radiant Host in its battles against these abominations. Surmising that the entity itself was acting as a void gate, we endeavored to capture a small specimen and subsequently examine its physiological structure. Our findings revealed that the Atomos had absorbed a planar fissure into its own flesh, which it could expand at will into a functioning gate. Upon further analysis, we identified an ethereal wave pattern emitted during this process. A pattern we were able to emulate by passing crystal-stored ether through a specially designed prism. We proceeded to embed said prism into an arcane simulacrum, thus completing what we have dubbed our artificial Atomos.
Interesting.
How could I have been so blind to the possibilities? This species, not to mention its ability to summon Void Sent, has been discussed among academics for years now. Just before the advent of the 7th Umbral Calamity, we received reports of Atomos sightings from every corner of Eorzea. Surely you've at least heard the tales.
We've killed a few.
And still, House Damia went and built a mock Atomos of their very own. I'm not surprised the Archons consigned their work to a restricted archive. It was no easy task, but at last we've unearthed the volume we've been searching for. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't tempted to stay longer. See what other forbidden titles might be lurking on these shelves. Ah, but that would be abusing the very special privilege we've been granted now, wouldn't it? Better not.
Yeah, thank you for staying to Numenon. I still feel like Numenon's gonna be the freaking dungeon. Especially with that kind of music. Or maybe it's one of the special dungeons. In the Epiphanies of the House Demir. Congratulations on locating the object of your search. Please move along. As much as I would love to start crafting the Atomos, I'm afraid this is far outside my field of expertise. Fortunately, we know a Hannish alchemist who would be delighted to involve herself in our House Demir project. For our business here is concluded for the moment, please pass on our regards to Forum. Your message will be conveyed. Should you wish to indulge in more forbidden literature, I will be here. Patron mode disabled. Security mode engaged. If anyone can help us, Nidhana can. Nidhana. Shall we return to Tavern and look for her at the Great Work? Oh my god. How long is this? Don't get me wrong, I love this, but my recording time is very limited. treasure stolen. All these sallow, sleep-deprived faces, but their eyes still burn with a fiery zeal. Some things never change. Your Stola tells me you're pursuing a most fascinating study, and that you wanted me to be a part of it. I have no doubt you will be interested. This research log should speak for itself. Will it now? My sisters, this is the Marga House de Mia. I never even knew such a work existed. You should. It was sequestered in Numenon's restricted archives, after all. It was? But that means every word within is forbidden knowledge. A forbidden tome with forbidden research, and you put it right in my unsuspecting hand? I can hardly wait to read it! Oh, 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 oh. To think that Demir was developing such marvelous techniques so long ago. How many innovations have been lost over the centuries, I wonder? Now, if you glance over the notes, what say you helping us build a new mock automatus? I say yes, 1,000 times yes. Work on a Demir project that had been even the redoubtable scholars of Cerulean trembles in their sandals? No alchemist of the great work we could resist. You are a woman after my own heart. Oh, I suppose I should ask, what do you mean to do with this big mouth of simulacrum once we've built it? So there's a secret void gate, and it's sealed in the ruins at the bottom of the bounty? Today is a day of revelations indeed. If the purpose of our man-made automatos is to expand this hidden portal, then I will need to see it for myself. I think manipulating the spending of arbiters is not the sort of thing you want to attempt without first taking into account every single factor. Then, by all means, accompany us to the vault. I plan to lead us back there shortly, once we've finished gathering the components I'd require. The Charlian's markets provided the raw, aquamarine, and pure water crystals, but I might need help obtaining a small quantity of astrally infused water. For such a liquid, you need go no further than the font of Maya. The ascetics of old once favored the place for their meditations. The water which pools there now is known for the and live in the flow of ether. That's oh my god. Oh, my throat. That sounds perfect. If you would be so kind as to fill a flask at the pool, I will petition Vitra to join us. The idea I have in mind won't amount to much without his authority to command the Void Gate. Shall we be about it then? We meet back here anon. Yeah, when is this quest gonna end? I thought there would be so many things barring this that we'd have to wait until the next patch, but instead it just keeps going. There's no greater joy than having a new puzzle to ponder. Oh, it's the end of this quest. Hopefully it's the last quest, guys. This patch is going on way longer than I expected. This is coming from me who did these streams already for the other patches. Oh, I forgot to mention, the Fountain Maya attracts aggressive wildlife, and you should watch out for them when, you go there next time. My apologies. Wait, Rashan was here. Hold on, shit. Rashan's here. Archon Yastola requested that I join you, but of her plan, she offered scant detail. Yes, I have the fast for you. There you go. Yes, this should suffice. Thank you, Firemac. PD Tenacity. Spell speed should sell. Oh, there is more. Oh, Stadion was here the whole time. That boy Murhad was glad to hear the news of the Foundation. It means new life for him and his sister. Cool. Okay, so I have to end the episode. I don't know what's gonna happen. Oh, okay, controller, calm down. I also have to take a break on the recording because I don't know what's about to happen here at my place. But they expect me to be returning soon-ish once I figure out what's going on. But in the meantime, I have to end this episode. So this is Firemac saying, toodles, see you next time.